Today we're going to be replacing a light switch that's old and just needs to be replaced. I've already turned the power off to the breaker, so the first thing we're going to do is remove this cover and then check and make sure the power's off inside the box. You remove the cover by taking out these two screws, one on the top and one on the bottom. Then we're going to take our non-contact voltage detector and make sure there's no power in the box. And there's not. Good to go. The next step, remove the switch from the box. On this box, you can see the box is sticking out further than the wall. This is a house that we're actually flipping right now, and this paneling is going to be coming out and sheetrock is going to be going in. When the electricians originally set this box, they set it for sheetrock and then they installed paneling. That's why it's like that. But once we get this sheetrock installed, that problem will be fixed. Once you get those two screws out, you want to pull this all the way out of the box like so you can see it. Now, a switch is a little bit different than an outlet if you've ever done an outlet. The switch has two wires of the same color going into the top and bottom. So your neutral is going to be tied together and inside of your box. And you're going to have a ground going to the ground screw on the switch, and then your hot's going to be going to the top and the bottom of the switch. One thing people think matters, but it doesn't. It doesn't matter where the hot feed from the panel goes or where the feed to the light go. When you turn the switch on, it's going to complete the circuit and send power to the device you're trying to send it to. The next step in this process is going to be just getting these wires free from the device. Now you can see they backstab these. I highly recommend not doing that. I'll show you our preferred method now. We're going to prepare these wires. We're going to take and we're going to make loops at the end of each wire like so. Strip these. Then make our loop. Now we're ready to hook up the new switch. Here's the new switch. We're going to connect the ground to the green ground screw first, making sure that the loop goes with the direction that we're going to be tightening the screw. Tighten it all the way down firm. Now we're ready to connect our two hots. Connect like so. When you do it, you want to make sure that the insulation is not going to be underneath of the screw, because if you do that, it's possible when you tighten it down that the insulation will block the copper from making a good contact with the screw itself. And in doing so, it'll create a space and allow for the electricity to arc between the wire and the screw, which causes heat and can cause damage or even a fire in the most extreme situations. But you want to loop them both in like so. Tighten them all the way down. One other thing to pay attention to, you can see a little bit of copper and a little bit of copper, so you know the insulation's not under the screw. You also don't want the bare wire being beyond the device box itself. So you want it to be just like this. Once you have it like that, you're ready to reinstall the outlet into the box. You're going to push it with both thumbs in, guiding the screws into the holes. You can use a drill or an impact to install these screws when you're reinstalling the switch. You just want to be careful that it's on the lowest power setting so you don't damage or strip anything. And I also like to only go about 80% of the way with that. And then I like to use a screwdriver to finish it the rest of the way, so that I can take the time to flatten out the switch, make sure the wires are where they're supposed to be in the box. Tighten this on down, holding it so that the switch is level inside of the box. Then we're ready to install our new cover. Again, with 2 flathead screws, the top and the bottom. Tightening them down. You don't want to over tighten these, as it will crack the cover, so you just want to get them snug fit. Now I'm going to turn the breaker back on and make sure that the switch is working. Breaker on. As you can see, the light inside the cabinet is working. The job's finished. That's another video brought to you by Your Homemade Easy. If you like that, please like, comment, and subscribe for more content.